Hello everyone, how goes it? All right, let's start the show. We still have 1 minute and some change. It's not too bad. I won't keep you waiting for much longer. Just wanted to make sure that my audio levels are good. If, in case you're curious about the soundtrack, that was from Hellblade 2, a game I still have yet to finish because I was way too busy with this season. But I'm certainly hoping to finish it one day because I really enjoyed the first one. Can very much recommend it. And also, it's quite relevant for this season that we will be running. But without further ado, allow me to join the meeting channel.
You
Hello, everyone.
you don't
How
have
is
any
it?
friends.
Hola.
What up?
Hello. Sorry, I realised that was bad timing. John joins and the first thing I say is, "You don't have any friends."
Well, what can I say?
Oh,
I hope to make some throughout this season. Season 5 on Nerd Haven, launching soon tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Well, have a good weekend, everybody. That was it.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming. I think that about sums it up. This season is
It's the YouTuber
strictly
voice.
me essentially paying for the server just so I can make some friends, at least like once a year whenever we run a season, which is pretty much just once a year, which is very sad.
Not this year.
Yeah, surely not this year. But things can still happen, before...
So this one's quite early in the year, so there's a lot more room.
That is true, that is true.
Loads of times.
Yeah.
Lots of
We're
space
doing
for
at
it,
least
please.
3 this year.
Cool.
All right, you can say that.
Right, let me get some technicalities first. I am both streaming the meeting, which means that there will be a recording and a vote right after. It will be posted on YouTube playing, just like I usually do. And in case you guys want to hear everything live, you can of course join this meeting section on Discord that was created. Unfortunately, unless you're a staff member or an admin, you won't be able to really speak, which is by design, unfortunately. You can still annoy us with these annoying dings whenever you join, and it makes me furious on the inside, but I will not mention it at all. This was the last time.
It's not like you
So-
can disable that, John, as a notification.
Yeah, I don't know
so-
how, so I'm
Oh
screwed.
my god.
But that means that you have two options. You can either watch the stream on my Twitch channel, or you can just join this Discord channel, and you can not listen to any stupid ads that Twitch might be running in the background without my permission, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. So run Outblock and join the Discord channel instead. So, yeah, I think we can pretty much wait a few more
Quick Note
minutes.
for you, John. If you enable streamer mode on Discord, you will not hear any dings.
Streamer mode is enabled. Username have been truncated. I can still hear it, Dark.
What the fuck?
It's alright. It is what it is. So, how is everyone? Everyone excited for the meeting?
Indeed.
I like Winter's enthusiasm.
Thanks.
That was just subtle woo.
To be fair, there wasn't that much energy into it. It was like it's like a forced woo.
By the way, this is an excuse for me to hear all of your voices so I can level your sound levels. So please, if all of you could go
Oh.
and tell me how are you, please.
Great. I'm good.
I am super excited. I am not anxious about it at all. Not even a little bit.
Thank you, Giddy. You both sound great, by the way, so thank you for that. And don't worry, Giddy,
Thanks,
we
thanks.
totally got this, and it will be fun. If there is anyone that should be nervous about everything, it's our players, because we are here to kill them, and that's basically what our seasons are all about. So I heard.
I don't know if that's the best way to start this whole thing rolling.
Yeah,
We're here to kill you.
probably, but we've never really been known to be good at self-promoting, so it is what it is. Bale, could you once again tell me how little friends I have?
Yeah, well, I think we're it, aren't we?
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, I can hear you just fine. M9, of course, I hear you all the time. I have you raised by default, just because no reason.
priority, favoritism.
Yeah, pretty much. And am I Tennessee? Could you please let me know if you have a voice? It's a strange way to put
Do
it.
I
but-
have to?
Yeah, thank you.
Ow.
Wonderful, wonderful. I can hear your ows just fine. Light, how about yourself?
Hello.
You definitely deserve a little bump. There you go. And am I missing anyone else? Ushi unfortunately excused herself. She was called for an emergency shift. She is essentially a veterinarian, as far as I understand, so she is very busy doing much more important things, but she will be here in spirit. This season is pretty much her baby, her and Dark, so we will make sure to hold down the fort and try to answer any of your questions and try to explain any important or unclear concepts that you might be raising or any kind of concerns. That's what the meeting section is all about. That's what this meeting is all about. It's supposed to be here for you. So if you have any questions or any kind of comments or questions, I already said questions several times, but you know what I mean. Just go into the meeting questions on the Discord in the community channels and yeah, just ask and we will try our best to answer.
I'm here, by the way.
Thank you, Shay. I will raise you a little bit.
Okay.
Wonderful. And yeah, I think we are good to go. Let me see my notes. All right. Banter, intro. Give everyone a chance to settle in. Done. Ticked. So I probably shouldn't say that out loud, but it helps me. All right, well, I guess we can officially start the meeting, unless anyone is opposed.
Let's do it.
Wonderful. So, first things first. Just like any season, I would like to essentially thank you all for being here, because we don't take it for granted. As I said before, we very much suck at self-promoting. So the fact that all of you, well, most of you, invited your friends or spread the word or just said nice things about us and convinced your other friends to join in such great numbers is very, very appreciated. I know we don't always respond well to compliments and we don't always let you know how much we appreciate you, but this is definitely something that we needed your help with and you guys absolutely delivered. So thank you so much for that. Thank you so much to all you wonderful recruiters and organizers and hyping things up. I know that we kind of hate it and we try to keep the expectations low because it's just easier for us to deliver afterwards. You know, it's always easier when we underpromise and overdeliver instead of overpromising and underdelivering. It does happen, but that's kind of our stupid approach that we decided to take. It's probably my fault, but what matters is what happens tomorrow. What matters is what happens after the season starts, and this season is very much for you. We put a lot of effort into it. Bale freaking made an entire map. Giddy created an entire system that is so elaborate that I've never really seen anything like it in the entirety of Conan, and I have been around. I haven't been on any on like all the servers. I haven't seen all the things, but I can pretty much tell you that the system that is here put in this place should be very fun and interesting to explore, and we cannot wait for you guys to see it all. There are of course some intricacies to it. There will be some getting used to. There will be some changes. There always are. Whenever we start a season, things can be a bit raw, things can be a bit creaky, but we will absolutely respond to everything. We will try to make it work as soon as possible, so please bear with us at the beginning of the season. Whenever the ticket time responses are a bit slow, trust us, we are not sitting on our asses just watching YouTube. We are actively working on the server even when we're at work, even when we are supposed to be at sleep or in bed sleeping. It is what it is. Starts of the seasons are usually very stressful for everyone involved, but we will try our best to make everything work. So in case there are any concerns about the economy being too grindy, or in case there are any concerns about certain mechanics being unclear or not exactly working to everyone's liking, we promise we will look into it. Give us some time to address everything. The season doesn't need to end on the very first week or the second week. I know it happens, but it is our hope that this season will last at least more than a month, maybe even 2, who knows. Miracles can happen, and we are definitely here for it. We invested a lot of effort and money into this, so we would like to at least offer this creation to you for as long as possible, and it all depends on you. As always, this is your season. We have created a scene, and how the scene will play out, how will it all deliver, is exclusively in your hands. We can only steer your intentions, we can only steer your actions to a certain direction. But if you decide that you are gonna kill all your characters on day 4, whenever it's allowed, we cannot really stop you, if you want to go on a rampage. But please be considerate to other RPers who may not be exactly ready for those things, and we would just like to ask you to be patient with us. And yeah, that's my preamble. I think that now would be the perfect time. I already alleged that there are some fun new mechanics that are kind of new to this season. So Giddy or Bale, it's completely up to you. Bale, if you want to showcase anything about the map, including the map itself, or Giddy, if you want to take us through the territory claim system and how it's currently implemented on the server. I'll leave it up to you. The floor is yours. Let me know.
I think a brief look at the map, just so people have a better understanding of it.
Wonderful. Mr. Bale?
So
or even Giddy,
nice.
if you want to stream it, I will stream it on my end. Your point of view.
Oh no. Where's he gone? Alright, I guess I'm streaming. So, we have a entirely from scratch, basically, made map for this season. If you haven't seen it, we have our regular sort of in-character map, and
This is
then
what happens when you
the
press
map on
M.
the right here is for the territory system. Each one of these little nodes is a territory that can be fought over. But there's a whole load of just frankly amazing places that Bale has made. I wish he was here to say them, but
I'm here.
there you are. I don't know if you want to show parts of the map, or what you want to give a basic preamble for.
No, I'm all right. I think in terms of the map itself, there's 20 territories. So I think Mercia starts with 10, Wessex starts with 9, and the poor Vikings only start with 1.
And they are invaders. Dirty, dirty invaders.
Yeah, I mean we'll go over how that kind of works when we start talking about the territory system and stuff. But the map itself, every location has a POI in it, so it's either a place where you can live, or it's a place that you can just you can own. There's different types of territories. There's capital cities, there's forts, there are farms, there are mines, monasteries, and like no yield locations, which are just a very simple POI.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of very sweet locations. I'm just flicking through a couple of the different types, but I think we have posted some images and things in channels previously, so
Yeah, I think a lot
will
of
be-
people have loaded up the game on single player, so they've seen it. But if there's anyone who wants to reserve a house, feel free to open up a ticket. Let us know. We can try and
Let
reserve a
Bale
spot
know.
for you. If it's not already reserved, then we can give it to you.
It's a really sexy map, guys. Okay,
Yeah,
when you get there, you'll,
I can't
you'll
explain
get
how-
snippets.
amazing this place is. Like
It is so good.
every place has its own like identity. It feels different to the others. You've seen a capital and 2 forts that are all in the same like kingdom and share similar commonalities, but have also just all very different.
And you get
The
to
idea
fight
being
over it.
built by different people for different reasons. This might be the worst assault location I know on the map.
Yeah, so a lot of I
Um,
mean, I take inspiration from different places when I'm building. So that one was designed after Beppenberg from The Last Kingdom. It's probably
Yeah,
that was the
and you'll see there's
first place I made.
some
So
of
this
the
is like
POIs
yield
are a
function.
little, yeah, not something massive to fight over, but definitely something that will allow you to link. You can see where I am, and then where the node is. We're in N8. So if you wanted to go for Balesburg as the Norse, you probably have to go through this one.
Bale, can you tell us how long did it take you to make the map?
Oh, I don't even know. Hours wise, I have no idea. A lot of hours. Was it like 4 or 5 months did it take me to make this?
Months.
Just so you guys know, most of the maps that you kind of see on the workshop, they take years, literally years, and they're still kind of in a process of being unfinished. There are still features that are changed and that are improved. This is essentially just like a seasonal map, that we have created, but it is definitely our hope that others will also be able to use this map, and who knows, it might even show up on our next seasons. So this is definitely an investment of time, effort, and lots of sweat from Bale's part, and we certainly hope that you guys will enjoy it as much as we do, because we've spent some considerable time on the map already, and it's definitely the main feature of this season. This freaking map is glorious, and even if you're just considering, just kind of checking out the map itself and you're not really interested in the season, I recommend doing it. Download it on the Steam workshop, put it on your single player, look around, and in case you're a server owner yourself, consider running it. It's great, it performs amazingly, and I couldn't recommend it more for like a medieval-oriented season. Even with fantasy elements, it's very much possible to include other mods that will give you like magic and all sorts of other cool stuff. And you can always spawn your own NPCs on it, and kind of it's an RP scene, or I would say an environment, that it just screams to be used. So definitely do it, definitely spread the word, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah, if you do decide to do that, then give me a like. Give my map a like.
Yes,
I
give him a
appreciate
like, make a video about it, and spread the word, because Bale deserves it, and he is for hire, in fact. He probably hates map making at this point, and he probably will never do it, but in case you are a rich oil baron, from somewhere very exotic, definitely give him a call and send him loads and loads of money, because he deserves it. We don't pay him enough, and he deserves all of it.
Wait, Bale's getting paid?
Wait, people are
Bale is
getting
not
paid?
getting
What the
paid.
fuck?
With compliments
Oh,
and
I was
hugs,
okay.
and our eternal adoration.
I need to buy more dice. What the fuck? When am I getting paid?
I'm just every time I fly around this map, I've been doing it for like as Bale made it, and I'm still beyond impressed. Every location is just kind of gorgeous and has its own characters, as you've seen.
Yeah, like we've been complimenting Bale enough, and we want to keep him humble, but there's something about his eye for like keeping things looking natural and not everything doesn't look perfect, which is what nature is, and it's so nice to walk around and feel like you're in an actual real place.
Yeah. I don't know if we want to pivot.
I tried to
talking about the
find
system,
anyway.
the
or-
Yeah, let's
freaking
go on to
option to
let's go on
disable
to
the
the
sounds whenever
territory
someone
system.
joins, and I couldn't.
So you guys have seen when I've been flying around the POIs, they all have the little flags and banners. These are basically one of the indicators of this territory is owned by this nation. This does change automatically, and when you attack a territory, this is the thing that you end up interacting with. This is kind of the focal point for that. But just to teleport to where the scribes are, or one of the scribes is.
So essentially, the territories they act like a capture the flag. Like if your faction owns that area, then your flag will be displayed. If a faction wants to attack and take it over, they have to speak to the scribe. In terms of the faction leaders, at least will have to speak to the scribe and declare that they want to attack. What's that?
I've just noticed a pug, and I'm
going to say that's light.
It's actually me.
No, I was gonna say that was not me because I looked at it. I go, that pug is going to be moving.
What do you mean?
all right. Sure, pugs. Can you tell I get easily distracted? So the scribes, there's one in each faction. They're in this faction capital. Any member of the faction can like interact with them, but depending on your, I guess, rank and leadership ability, you'll be able to do different things. You can ask them what territory do you have and what types they are, and it will pop up. Nobility will be able to immediately look into like a war chest, which is a physical chest in the world right next to the guy. If factions want to move this chest, they are welcome to, ask and we'll try and oblige.
It can't be broken into, by the way. Like it's
Yeah.
it is locked. Like yeah.
It does require a specific tag that will only be given to people of leadership. So you're talking royals as jarls, and they're like designated second, I suppose. But there's a bunch of different functions through the scribe. Nobility can see sort of what their next payout is going to be based on the holdings they own. I believe the map needed to change, so that's probably won't load in. But there is a map in there on top of the node map that is just on your regular map. You can also give territories away should you need to negotiate or beg for people to stop attacking you. I won't do that there, but you can also declare a warband. It's pretty easy to go through. There's a whole bunch of warnings.
So declaring a warband is if you are looking to attack another territory.
Yeah,
right.
The warband is the name of the mechanic for basically trying to conquer the next territory on.
So let's say, for example, the King of Mercia decides, right, I want to go and I want to attack a territory that belongs to Wessex. Then he can come along here. He can speak to the scribe, say, I want to form a warband and I want to attack this location. Then that's how it's done. It's done through the scribe, and everyone will then get like a notice and a warning saying that an attack has been declared, and they'll then have 24 hours before that attack can then commence. So you guys will then have 24 hours to either prepare your defenses, prepare your attacking units, or try to sort out some allies, enter some diplomacy, or run away. Essentially, suddenly you realize that you live in a monastery which is about to be attacked, and you're like, I don't want to be here when this gets attacked. And you've got 24 hours to pack up your shit and move somewhere else.
One of the more interesting mechanics is going to be how people value different territories. Some might be strategic because they hold like a choke point. You can see the different lines between places. Sometimes to get from one to the other, there is a tile that you have to go through, and it might not be a particularly important one, but it might end up being incredibly important to just hold on to. Each territory has different yields. I think we have the do we have the territory little flip book ready? Has that been released?
I
I
don't
don't know
think so.
that it's been released, but I think
Okay.
Light did have it ready.
Yeah, I think
I
Light's
just put it
finished.
in there.
Sweet.
Whoever has it
Um,
ready, stream it. I will stream it from your perspective.
Oh, I
if you
was
wanna
just
show
gonna reference to it to say that there'll be a guide out that will basically tell you a bit more detail about what all the territories are when rolling in. There's a
It's
really
worth knowing
short.
as well in terms of the
Yeah.
territories that you own. Obviously, you can see on the map on the right that they're all connected by those dotted lines. So, say for example, you own N18, which is at the very bottom. You can only attack from N18. You can only go to N17 or N15 because it's connected by the lines. So you can't attack a territory on the opposite side of the map if you're not connected.
Yeah, I think that's clarified in the rules. The current system to make sure that that wouldn't happen is a lot of work, considering we already have a limit on who can declare war bans, and we're putting a reasonable amount of trust in people in the community to keep to those rules as we do, as happens in most RP seasons. There's obviously different yields depending on the type. So, you know, a monastery probably going to give more healing than a mine would. Mine is going to give more materials to make, like crafting materials. And that payment goes to the war chest. It's a daily payout that will start, I think we're going to set it up for 3 days into the season so that there won't be any immediate attacks in the first few days, just for people to get sort of their footing a bit, find out what's going on. But the payments they go to the faction, not to the players particularly. It is the people at the top who decide if that gets used for certain things. They have a lot of discretion. If you decide that you know what, we need a whole bunch of shields, maybe you have to go and craft a whole army's worth of shields because you can't trust everyone to bring a shield when you want a shield wall.
Yeah, this is one of the realistic angles this season that we would like to explore, because as it usually goes in war, rich get richer and poor people die or get even more poorer. So it kind of depends on your leadership that you have not really elected, whether they will share the spoils of war with, the appropriate people, or whether they will just hoard it for themselves. And then it is up to you, the RPers, to decide whether you want to tolerate that or not.
Yeah, we don't have any massive rules about sort of launching a coup, trying to grab power, etc. That is deliberate, and I don't think we'll be, stomping in the way of progress for people who want to do that. So long as they have the RP backing to do so. I'm trying to think what else I need to cover.
Giddy, do you want to kind of explain slightly, or I'm not sure if we'll get there, but at least give an example of what it is that they need in order to start an assault or an attack or anything like that from the very beginning. Like use one spot as an example and then try to capture another.
Well, I'll go to the Norse one because I plugged up the Mercian one trying to work out if I could do a promo earlier. So you've seen the Mercian scribe, Norse scribe. It's just sort of hidden away in the long hall. You see, I don't have the correct tags, so he's basically just said fuck off. So it's not like anyone can access all your vital materials. I'll just give myself a decent tag. and now he'll talk to me. Let's have a look in the war chest. We've got 500 silver. That should be enough to attack. So I can declare a warband. Gives me warnings about that it will be a rounded 24-hour clock. That means that when you declare a warband, it's not going to give it exactly 24 hours. We're not going to have warbands starting at, 27 and 36 seconds past. It will round to the nearest half hour unless there's a restart timed, in which case it will round away from those restarts to prevent any scripts from going a bit wayward when those happen. You can see there, everything's listed, which territory I want to attack. Let's go for the Strand, since that's the one just north of us. Want to attack Mercia? Oh yeah. And you can see how much you've got versus how much it's going to cost. The cost in silver does go up depending on how many territories you have. War does get expensive. Mobilizing people is costly. And you can see that while the timing hasn't rounded up to the next day, it's currently rounded to the what, a minute from now. So I can say, yep. And you'll see there's been a global notification. What we'll have is we'll also have a channel in Discord that these things will need to get posted to. I'm trying to work out a webhook that hasn't quite come together. So it might just be whoever declared. You can see the Norse Warband's attack has gathered its forces and has been given the all clear to go.
This would be 24 hours in time, but we've obviously skipped it up
Yeah.
for the meeting.
And I would run up. And there's a raise your flag. So I can interact with that. Trainers trying to raise the flag, and then it gives you a progress. It's quite a short timer at the moment, just to demonstrate. But if I walk away from it, it cancels. If at any point I take any damage, it will also cancel. When it comes to the flags, there is a small interact zone. So I would just, if you trouble finding it, just look up and down the flagpole. It's normally around sort of shoulder height, but some of them are a little lower because the flags are slightly lower. You can see the progress is going. Again, if you take damage during this time, it will cancel it. That means that you do need to secure the area. However, there will be, I think it's in the rules that you can't just ping someone with an arrow from 200 meters away and keep running back just to troll people.
We've given the attack as an hour window, right? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, you have basically an hour to complete your attack before this option disappears. You are not able to start the attack before the window or have it afterwards. The option to interact legitimately disappears. You can see the flags change color, change to Norse, and now there's nothing here to interact with. I literally can't do anything, and there's been a global notification. I will need to change that N_8 so that it has the name in. That's on.
And that's how basically your factions can become richer. So there are certain nodes, including this one, which give you nothing, but it's almost like the corridor you have to go down to get to nodes that actually will give you a reward daily. So once you start conquering the places which make a difference, then you start to become richer, and your faction war chest starts to fill up.
Yeah, everything happens sort of automated. You can see the territory we just conquered is now listed. You can see it's unused land, and we have our capital and that territory, and we're free to go about. There will be, because of the 24-hour cooldown, once you've, assaulted, you can then do another warband to assault the next place, which will start another 24-hour timer. So there's, I think, minimum is 24 hours between. I think if you were to do the timer and it rounds differently, it could be, 25 hours between them, just to make things easier. I'm trying to think what else there is to talk about. Independently of the territory system, there is a daily amount of crafting supplies and healing and cooking and all that good stuff that you are the core to crafting. There's also supplies that you will need to gather. Think of them more as like RP materials, things that you can go out and grab to get them, like a tree. I don't have an axe in my pocket, do I? Oh, yes, I do. I was smart and prepared. So trees are giving elmwood, which is something that John has helped us out with. Drops a specific amount. You can see I got, 14 from that. There's a whole other bunch of bits. Rocks give stone. There's plenty of iron spread around the map. There's coal in a few specific places. There are different types of trees that give different types of wood. I'll just swap to this one because I know exactly where it is. Ashwood there. So you've got elm is sort of like your general wood, and then ashwood is seen as a little more, I guess, a higher tier of material. But everything at its core costs crafting supplies, and you can't make crafting supplies. You can only be given them. Like as a player, you have access to your daily, and then kind of got to trade or apply pressure to your rulers to help equip you. You can go out and gather as much as the other stuff as you like, but those are incredibly limiting factors. Silver is also a very limiting factor. Something that is primarily gotten from the territory system. It requires you to my brain.
Giddy, if you want a moment to take a sip of water, I can finish when it comes to the economy. Just give people a little rundown of like the prices and stuff. So as Giddy already mentioned, there will be mechanics similar to last season where you can still go out and explore, harvest, your necessities, your basics like wood. There are 3 types of wood depending on the weapon, shield, or specific tools. You might require different types of wood. You will simply recognize it by different trees. Some are more rare than others. Others will be just pretty much all over the place. There are, of course, your traditional ores, stone, coal, iron. Those you can get in various places. Again, some of them will be a bit harder to get. Others will be just very much common. In case you cannot find coal, I will leave it up to Bale to potentially spoil where one can get it, but usually whenever you look at the map, you should be able to find like a bunch of stuff, and it's kind of the fun of the season to explore, where things are, so we don't want to be overly specific where you can find all the things, but as also Giddy mentioned, there is not everything. You cannot really spend like 2 initial days to like grind everything and fully equip yourself. That is something we wanted to kind of eliminate by design. We wanted to involve the faction leaders to share their spoils of war for the territory capture system. We wanted you guys to trade, whatever you don't need for the stuff that you do need. And it's the same thing with food and healing stuff, in order for you to, for example, just on the very first day, fill up your fridge and just completely have all the foods to then hand over. That's not exactly the kind of season that we'll be running. This will be, yes, a bit grindy, but also a bit more deliberate. If you actually want to run a tavern, it will kind of benefit you to make fresh stuff and make the kind of stuff that your patrons will actually desire, because there is a lot of foods. I already posted the link in my chat, but the spreadsheets should be all over Discord. There are essentially like at least 10 unique foods for every single faction. And all of those, well, most of those have unique buffs. Some of them can be very much kind of stacked. If you, it's already mentioned in the sheet, but there is a bunch, and there are also some that you will have to make a decision. For example, when it comes to ales, you will have 4 possible ales you can drink, and you can only benefit from one of those buffs that will be available. In case you drink both normal ale and then meat, the last one that you drank will actually apply. So the meat buff will be the one that you will be rocking. The buffs last for a long time, so we kind of want to basically convince you to have a full meal, with your drinks before you go fight or before you just kind of go RP, and then in about an hour and a half or 2 hours, I believe, that's how long the buffs last, you can then go back, to your faction. You can, of course, do this sooner to kind of refresh the buffs, but this should also hopefully contribute, to the RP. So it's not just that you will constantly run around with your pockets filled with 999 food of your favorite buff. We kind of want to make it so that you will go RP, you will buy the stuff in the tavern or get it in your favorite monastery or just, even from your home. But it should promote players, the cooks, essentially preparing you fresh stuff every time. Anything that I missed, Giddy or Bale, that you would like to bring up?
No, I don't think so. I think you covered it
No,
all.
I think-
So in terms of the supplies and stuff, the cooking, the crafting, and the healing supplies are the limiting factor. There's such. In terms of if you can get them from a daily, but that's it. Other than your faction leaders giving them to you.
Yeah, and just like last season, there is also one thing I should bring up. There will be randomized crafting outcomes. They will be different than last season. Last season, there were straight up bad outcomes. This season, there will be less of them, so you don't have to worry. Your first weapon may not be the very best one, the very meta weapon that you would rock for the rest of your season, but it will not be bad. It will be something that you can absolutely slay many foes with, and then, if you really like this weapon, you can just compare it with others, you can exchange it, or you can try the next time, for example, the next day, whenever your daily rewards you with the kind of crafting supplies that you will require. But you can, of course, trade, you can go back to your leader, to give you something that you need to properly handle yourself in battle. So that will also kind of reward RP, with your royals, with your nobility.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And yeah, go on.
I was just going to say, I wanted to segue off something that John said. A lot of these mechanics and concepts were put into place to drive RP, and I think that there's so many other things that are willing to do that. Even the territory system, I know that it seems very PvP focused, but when you really pull back the layers and think about it, some of these things can be done without even fighting, with alliances, or actually RPing through it. And that's something that we all, as a player base, have to keep in mind, that this mechanic was put in place, and Giddy did an amazing job, but it's not actually forcing RP. It's just making it possible. Excuse me, basically. Other than that, it could happen that the entire season goes with peace. I doubt it. Let's be honest, I fucking doubt it. But it is possible. It's there. So, RP first, and then, PvP from your RP.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of little bits here and there that are there to encourage people to find other ways. The whole trading of territories without an attack is a great one.
You've literally
But
put
it's
that into
more
the
of a
system.
it's more of a representation of being able to actually impact the world and what you're conquering. When you go on an RP server and there's combat, it's very rare that the borders change between players, because those players frequently have their spot where they protect, and it's a really nice way to just be like, yeah, you don't live here anymore. It's going to be hard for you to come back, but it's not going to be impossible. And there's plenty of avenues. I really encourage players to try and put pressure to where they want things to happen.
Mm-hmm.
If you think there's RP that you're missing out on because, your faction is, or a large group of people are trying to attack all the time, you can allow that, but also like try and open trade, see if you can get the same outcome without the fight. See what happens. You
Right.
really don't know. And we deliberately have made it so there's very little to get in the way of people who want to do other things.
Yeah, and we've also protected from people getting a little too overzealous as well. Like when it comes to trying to do the entire conquest in a short amount of time. And like it's expensive. You're not going to be able to pull it off quickly. You really need to plan this out properly, or it's just not going to work. You can lead your faction down a hole.
Yeah, you'll find if you try and do everything on day one, you just don't have material to do it. And that's not to say that, oh, I need to go out and grind material to do this. No, the material will come.
Yeah.
And I think people who are RPing will get rewarded from their faction leaders, etc.
Just like in any strategical game, you can overextend and you can absolutely create
Agreed.
an empire fast, but whether it will last, whether it will actually handle the pressure, that is another thing to kind of consider. Mr. Nine, would you like to tell us something that players can expect from the admins in position of power, from the royals, from the nobles, and their significant
Yeah.
others?
I mean, I've already kind of established this a little bit on my recruitment post, and I was telling the team a little earlier that for me in previous positions before as well, it's like I really like to focus on interkingdom RP because I think that if you don't provide a good environment for the people that are under you and you're role playing with constantly, then you're not giving that incentive to like log in to even show up for battles and for fights and things like that, because constant fighting can be fun, but it's also exhausting for everyone around, such as war, right? And I think that people also like to just have fun. And one of the things that I like to do personally is, put on events, put on ceremonies, put on different things within the kingdom that just feel like we're not just playing these characters for a cause, we're living these characters. And not every day is there going to be combat. Not every day is there going to be, a court or anything like that, but we want there to feel like life is still happening within the kingdom, even when we're not interacting with other kingdoms. And I think that that's personally really important for me, and I'm sure that some of the other leaders will agree.
One thing to mention is that this is also not a season where it's straight up good versus evil. This is a season where
Right.
it's humans v humans, and humans are varied. Humans are quite unique. Humans can express themselves in many ways, regardless of their culture or faction. You can have humans that find strange alliances in other strange humans. So that is something that can be explored this season, unlike our last season, where it was straight up, if you see an orc, you must kill it. If an orc sees an elf, they must kill themselves, or at least die trying, because that's kind of the rules of Tolkien world, even though he also has certain shades of gray in his character development and story stuff. There are, I would say, more blurred lines between what is considered good and evil, and there can be both heroes and straight up jerks on both sides. So it's not, I know that whenever someone mentions Vikings and knights, it's always, it's the freaking Vikings will be just, PvPing all the time and they will kill everyone, and it's just, good versus evil, and, just these unwashed masses against these honorable knights. That's not exactly it. First of all, the Vikings are very much washed. Shay can probably give us a lecture about this for hours, because Vikings are known to be more sanitary in these times. And Saxons, I don't know if you, in case you haven't seen The Last Kingdom, the show that we are kind of very much inspired by this season, there can be jerks on both sides, and ambitions can, get the worst out of people. So it all depends on who's in charge. It all depends who you want to side with. There are no bad decisions. In case you guys want to run as berserkers who just kind of want to smash things, with their mighty weapons, that's completely fine. That's completely allowed. Go straight for it. Enjoy your fantasy. That's what this server is for. But if in case there are some Norsemen who want to be just farm people, who want to be peasants, who want to help out, with harvesting, with grinding, with smithing, with diplomacy, let them. Allow them. This is a season for pretty much everyone. Everyone will have their chance to shine. Everyone will have their opportunity to fulfill their RP goals, RP dreams. This is not just a PvP season. This is not just an RP season. This is just like any other seasons that we run, an RP PvP season where both things are allowed to coexist with one another. So please don't shame PvPers for wanting to PvP, and don't shame RPers for wanting to RP, and enjoy both, because you cannot PvP for 10 hours straight. Trust me, I've tried. It hurts. And you cannot RP for 10 hours straight. It's fucking boring sitting around the campfire all this time. Sometimes you just want to, whip out your sword and stab it into someone. And I don't just speak about ERP. There are many things to express yourself as an RPer. So explore them all. The season will be here for it. And yeah, I'm done.
Yup.
Mhm. It's going real well until pulling out the swords.
What's next on the agenda?
I thought this is your You're the list man.
All right. Anything that I have mentioned that other admins would like to contribute towards or further expand on?
Well, there's technically already been said in large quantities, but I would still like to kind of pull attention back to what has been written recently in each faction's announcements, and just kind of give an idea from your starting point on the season, considering that's what we're talking about, RP aspect of it, is that in the upcoming season we are RPing a history inspired or the Last Kingdom inspired season, and we're not a factual reenactment season. I'm saying that because a lot of people know history and they've read it, and there's thousands versions of it, and each series and movie does it differently. But this season we have no fucking clue what's going to happen. We don't know if it's going to be the Vikings rule everyone, the British rule everyone. It might be a peace season where every faction gets along. That's not going to happen, but it might. You never know. So give people that aren't the history buffs, that aren't fully knowledgeable about every little aspect of their culture that they are a part of, give them their room, let them learn, let them be inspired by your knowledge. Because, for example, just an easy one, the Norse mythology is vast and there's so much to learn from it. So anyone that likes to dive into that, there is room for it. So give that a try instead of trying to... without saying too weirdly, but to lore explain or the history explain to people what they should know and do. Aside from that, just to give you a starting point, and I would like to reiterate, the two factions, Wessex and Mercia, they are a year after their wars. They are still rebuilding. In the times that we live, it's not easy to just be like, oh, hey, next time let's go to the bank and get more money, I'll be fine. No, you have to rebuild everything. People have to repopulate. We have to get new warriors, and that'll take time. So even if it's been a year, both factions, Wessex and Mercia, are still rebuilding, and they are not in a good, healthy state at the moment, which obviously is the perfect time for the Norse people to invade. They have been here for about a month, and they have managed to build up their encampment. And they are now, when you start the season, you are in a 3-day grace period, if you will, which I think was already explained before, but the territory system will not be enabled during this time, which means that you cannot go attack territories. You can still PvP, you can still do whatever you want on that one, but know that this is the time to get into your character, get into your factions, learn who's all there, talk to your nobility, or your jarls, whichever one you want to call them, and see if they can arrange some conversations with the other factions. For all you know, you could have the jarls and the both kingdoms, their kings and queens all in one room, and they might not murder each other just yet. They might just talk and see what that leads to. And after those 3 days, then it's all, all to what you guys want to do. If you want to keep the politics, if you want to keep the deals, or you just want absolute bloodshed. That is entirely up to you and each faction. I just want to reiterate that is the type of situation that all of you are in.
Yeah, I think it's important to remember that, from the outside in, you can easily say, oh, well, it's Saxons versus Vikings. It's 2v1, and it's not that way at all. Relations are fractured between us, and, it can go either way. One can convince the other to help their cause, or it could just be a 1v1v1. You never really know what can happen, and that's kind of where the RP comes in.
Exactly. You
Yeah,
have a
I
very
think
shaky truce between Wessex and Mercia. It's almost like, hey, we're both so fucked up right now. The only way we can actually live and have a kingdom after today is we need a truce. And that's the type of truce that was taken with those two factions. So it's only because both fucking factions are wrecked at the moment.
And what better to solidify a shaky truce than a common enemy, right? So careful, Norsemen, before you decide to just
could be too. Yep.
go head on and just attack everyone, just
Exactly.
mercilessly.
If you're too aggressive, it can happen easily.
Or
that's what I
some
had.
clever Norsemen can play the political game and stoke
Yep.
the flames.
Could totally
Exactly,
happen. I
right?
want all that kind of shit, man. I want the schemes. I want the straight up fucking bloodshed. I want the political marriages.
Yeah,
Bring
apart
it
from the
on.
fighting, that's what I'm looking for to the most. It's just the political warfare in the back end.
Yeah, very good point. Winter, could you please expand on the composition of Mercia a bit? Is it just all Christians versus, the Norsemen who are pretty much pagans, or are there any, I would say, additional points to consider?
So Mercia is. I feel like Light should explain this as queen, to be honest.
Go for it.
It's more of a hot pot. So you've got the main Catholic group in Wessex. Everything else you can imagine, it's in Mercia, guys. If you want to play a Celt, if you want to play someone from Ireland, if you want to play someone from Wales, like the rest of the United Kingdom in that time period has sort of been shoved into Mercia as a sort of everything else. So there are both pagans and Catholics there. There are some Catholic churches, which will be interesting in itself. I know I've discussed with a couple other people who are going to be playing Catholics. I'm personally going to be playing a Celtic Druid, and we're probably not going to get along. But we're still in the same city, and there are enemies on our borders, so we might have to put that aside for a little bit. But yeah, it'll be super interesting. And I've done a little bit of reading up on all the many varied amounts of pagans, and guys, it gets dark. There's some very dark stuff there. So you think the Norse are bad? There's ritual sacrificing on the pagans too. So we'll see how it goes. I think it'll be really interesting. I think Mercia is going to be a lot of organic roleplay and figuring out where everyone lands. But I think it's going to be really fun. So yeah, I think that's a little bit of what I know so far. I hope that gives a little bit of inkling. But yeah, we've got everyone and anyone. So come along if you're not sure.
Just because there's a faction that feels powerful doesn't mean that all those people are in the same camp.
Yes.
There is definitely
Indeed.
room for, split focuses, trying to control the internal politics of your kingdom or your realm as well as external.
Yes,
Good
I'm going to
point.
be trying to bring people over to the lovely paganism instead of which I'm sure the king will get very fed up of as I keep trying to ask me about it.
And I will be doing the exact opposite.
If I go anywhere near Wessex, I'm getting executed
You
on the
need
spot.
you need God in your life.
Well, as you
So,
can see,
yeah,
yeah, there is plenty of RP
there's
to
so much.
RP possibilities.
You're going to
Uh,
be spoiled, guys. There's so many avenues besides just fighting. So, yeah, have fun, genuinely.
But even though our Saxon factions have a lot to resolve amongst one another, we of course have the Norsemen, and I feel like we haven't really given them the spotlight that they deserve. And I'm just speaking of it because I'm one of the Jarls. Shay will be one of our lovely seers, or should I perhaps say Seidkona? Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correctly. Shay, if you were in charge of hyping things up, if you were in charge of convincing people to go Norsemen, what would be some of the key things you would like to bring up that perhaps would apply not only this season, but just in general? Tell us a bit about the lifestyle of the Norsemen and what it's like to be a pagan back in those days, if you would be so kind.
Sure. You did pronounce it correctly, Seithkona, so well done. Yeah, life back then was pastoral. Most of these people would have lived fairly normal lives back in Scandinavia. The problem was that Scandinavia is cold. There's not a whole lot of green space to live on, and as population expanded, they needed more land so that they could thrive. They could bring their families someplace where they could thrive. They could have generations to come. You will find that having descendants and being a good ancestor is a huge part of this culture. So every deed that you do is actually contributing to the destiny of all who come after you. And I would say, for those who have watched The Last Kingdom, this is why Uhtred's big line, destiny is all, is reiterated in literally every single episode. So, you weren't born necessarily a fighter, but you fought by circumstance. And everyone really would have had the capacity to do it, even women defending the households when the men were gone. But it's not that everyone woke up one day and said, I want to be a Viking. Viking is actually a verb, it's a job. You would go Viking or go a Viking if you were called to be a raider. And it was kind of more like being a pirate. It wasn't really an honorable profession, but it was a profession that was necessary to kind of conquer more land and to get this great green space where you could grow and your future generations of Danes and Norse and well, Swedes weren't going in the direction of our season; they were going east. But all of them did this. So what we have really is just kind of taken this idea of the Raiders, without calling them Vikings because that is kind of a derogatory term. And they are going to be placed in they've landed in this new land, and they are not just all about getting silver and getting rich and the thrill of the fight. They're doing this because they're literally fighting for the survival of their people. And this is historically accurate as well. So you are driven by a passion to ensure your bloodline survives and that it thrives and that it has good luck and good destiny because you've basically set up everything that they need, by giving them a new home. So you are here to conquer territory, not just for saying that you can do it or for glory and Valhalla, but because you are actually driven to better your life and the lives of your families. So that may not seem very um, inspiring in the sense that the Vikings TV show is and lots of chest beating and that went on and will go on in this RP, I'm sure. And there's nothing wrong with that. But if your character is like a family man or just kind of a little bit more down to earth, there's absolutely a place for you here. And there's absolutely a place for you to be deeply motivated to do what you're set out to do in this conquest. So you can expect a lot of motivation and drive, whatever that motivation and drive may be. Some of us may be at odds in terms of why we are there and what we hope to accomplish. But ultimately, the Jarl who sent us all there is looking for more land because this is how we survive. It's how we continue. So that's the baseline of it. We're all arriving with the same goal. And whether or not we stick together as a group or we sort of end up with some political infighting or backstabbing or whatever, we'll see where the organic RP takes us. But life in the Viking settlement should be pretty colorful. Probably more raucous than sounds like the Christian taverns are going to be pretty raucous too. But the Vikings embraced life. They were colorful. They loved the experience of living. They were animists, so they believed that they lived among bunches and bunches of spirits and trees and mountains and everything else. So the life of just the world around them was vibrant and nothing was dull. They also believed that their fate was written when they were born, so they had a lot to live up to. And if they wanted to change that fate, they had a lot of work to do. So, yeah, I would say just if you're rolling in a Viking, be prepared for the possibility of some instability within the faction, but also lots of exciting opportunities to have wild, unbridled experiences that I will hopefully, as a Seth Kona, be helping you to enjoy, particularly if you are someone who's looking to RP, that they have a calling as a seer, or somebody who's RPing a berserker, or who just wants to, get crazy with it. So.
Thank you so much, Shay. That was wonderful, and I couldn't agree more. I also like that you brought up not just the things that will kind of differentiate between us, but there is also a lot of commonalities to consider. We are all the people of North. We are all Northmen. There are certain things that we will have very much in common. Honoring our gods, the fact that we all come from the savage lands, and this is a new opportunity for us all to make something of our lives. We are all deeply superstitious. If there is a hawk that flies above me, that could mean many things, and there will be many interpretations of what that potential sign could mean. And if there is anyone I would recommend visiting, that would definitely be Shay's character, because she will be the tribe seer. And if you perhaps see yourself as someone who could potentially have similar gifts, which of course that wouldn't be uncommon around those times, and it will be very much welcome in case you want to consider giving this RP a shot. You don't just have to be a healer. You don't just have to be a fortune teller. You can simply be someone who knows of the gods, who can potentially interpret their will, or how they kind of manifest themselves in this world, or in what aspects of our human nature, they could even be. I couldn't recommend this RP more for anyone who wants to explore the mystical side of the quote-unquote Vikings.
Yeah, absolutely. We will be doing lots of that. And I don't want to force people into sort of the nitty-gritty of that RP outside of those who want to apprentice as seers. You guys are going to have to do this, right? But I will be giving opportunities for anybody who wants to just kind of have ritualistic side of things. You will find those opportunities too. So definitely lots of superstition, lots of religion, but in a boisterous, not quite so stuffy, and not involving quite so much watching people bathe for God as Christianity.
Yeah, fuck the Christians. Am I right, boys and girls?
Jesus, clip that out
Hell
of
yeah.
context.
Well, that kind
Yeah, fuck the Christians.
Yeah, that sets up our, I would say, religious and mystical RP this season. Those two religions should be in odds with one another, but there should also be curiosity. Don't be afraid to visit a freaking church and let the priest tell you about this Roman god of miracles and what he can do for your soul. Even if you praise Odin, even if you praise Hela, even if you praise Freya, there are many things that these religions could I would say explore about one another, things that could be considered a weakness, things that could be considered a strength. Miracles can happen, but who knows? Maybe certain things can be attributed to God's intervention, and who knows what will happen? People believe in gods in these times. They may not be able to read, they may not be able to understand science, but that's why religion had such an important role around these times. You will not find many atheists around that time, I can tell you very much. So, yes, embrace your gods.
Just
think
as a
it's
small...
also-
go on. Sorry, go on.
Just on the sort of same topic, also remember that paganism is just basically any religion that isn't Christian at the time. That does mean, in context of the British Isles, you're looking at more, local gods and things, Germanic, sort of Norse-esque. They often had different names, and then depending on sort of the area you were in, you'd have gods that were especially focused on like fertility and farming versus, warriors and such. When your entire survival depends on a farm, you tend to really pray for that.
Just a small note. I know this has probably been read already by people, but I want to give an extra emphasis on, no, we will not have season 2 endless amount of interactions with gods. They are not going to be played by us people, us staff people.
Yeah, I do want to make it that explicit, but no, do not expect literal God showing up from above and granting you +5 strength, or don't expect Odin, showing up on his chariot, or with his spear and with his one eye and sounding strangely like whoever played him in Avengers. M9, help me out here.
Wait, which one?
The Marvel
Chris
movies.
Hemsworth?
No, that's
Chris
Thor.
Yeah, so
I know that.
Anthony Hopkins?
Oh, Anthony Hopkins, thank you, Niku. I
Anthony
knew it was
Hopkins,
the guy from Cannibal, but I wasn't quite sure.
Same character, actually.
Yeah, pretty much.
But yeah, pretty much like your characters will, if they do, believe in the faith.
I'm
and
tired,
any
okay?
gods that they
I'm
believe
sorry.
in. But we will not be playing any of the gods. And that also means, unfortunately, as much as I want to, there will not be Return of Loki by John, because I love this Loki, but he's gone.
No. We will let the gods rest. The fate is in your hands, but your characters wouldn't believe so. Your characters would believe that, plague was only sent on the sinners. They would also believe that there are signs everywhere, and, the gods will judge you for everything you will do in this life. And, of course, they will probably show you their appreciation in the next life, wherever you might end up. All right. I think we went over all the major things we wanted to go over. Am I correct? Or is there anything you guys would like to bring up before we head over to the questions?
I think I'm good, at least I am.
Anyone else? All right. Speak now or forever hold your peace. Alrighty. Let us go towards the questions.
Just so you know, that's in the Discord. If you post question to Twitch, we might read it, but probably not. Just put it in the Discord.
Wonderful.
There is a channel for it.
Alright. From Peaches. Will we have the RP Opportunity channel like we had last season?
Do we need to answer?
Well, I mean, sure.
I don't know. I don't know who was gonna, because I think.
I don't know who
who's
is
gonna
going
make
to
that
answer. I don't mind
decision?
answering it, but as far as I know.
It's not something we've spoken about, is it? To be fair.
No.
It
honestly,
is
right.
something that will get posted. At least there will be a very similar one about warbands being posted. I don't know if we'll use the same.
There'll be more of a webhook, but actually RP Opportunity Channels usually is meant for people to post them themselves or events. Unless we want to actually have it. It could happen during the season, but at the moment, no, there's no plans for using one.
I suppose if people are struggling to find RP and stuff, then we can. It's something that we can keep an eye on We can
So
always bring
last
it in if
season,
people are struggling.
last season this was used for like, hey, a tavern is opening, in the next hour, or for example, this business, is currently active, or a group of soldiers is venturing this territory in order to mine something. If you want to encounter them, you can definitely do so. Just stuff like this. How do you guys feel about it?
I mean, at the moment, no. I kind of want to keep it.
Yeah, no, I would say
like,
no.
unknown when people are. But if it comes to pass that it does have a place, then we will add it again. It's very easy to do anyway. But at the moment,
Yeah,
no
we'll
plans.
definitely keep an eye on it, guys. I don't think right now we will, but if we see that people are looking for more avenues for RP because they're having a hard time finding people, I mean, we are gonna be living in like big capitals, big whatever. So you're gonna know where to go. But it's something that we can look at in the future. I'm not a big fan of there's a lonely person going to gather this. I hope I don't get kidnapped. I hate that.
See, I'm the opposite. I really like that channel.
I'm kind of on the both sides. I can see the value in it, but M9 is right. There has been some misuse in the past that pretty much just fueled every person's kidnapping kink, and that was a bit immersion breaking.
Like I said, for now, no plans. And if we find we want to add it, we'll add it. But at the moment, no plans.
Wonderful, wonderful. Question from Peaches again. How do we get medical, crafting, and food supplies?
I think we
So you get them
answered
from your
everything.
dailies. So yeah, you get them from your dailies. Like there is a NPC in each of the capitals. The two Saxon capitals all have an Elderman, and the Norse have a Carl. You speak to them, and they will give you your stuff. So that's the Elderman in Wessex. You speak to him daily. He'll say, you can have your stuff. If you've already spoken to him, then he'll tell you to go away. So you get given 5 crafting, 5 medical, and 5 cooking supplies a day. And then if you need to get extra, then you need to either trade for them, or go speak to your faction leaders who access to the war chest.
Wonderful, thank you. Will there be a financial system to pay for goods, or is it a barter and trade, pretty much like last season whenever you wanted to order your drink, you had to pay with crafting supplies or cooking supplies or healing supplies, and it was very awkward, and I'm very sorry that was my stupid idea, and it will never happen again.
So this season is probably both. Like there are several things that have value. So silver is what the each faction
Currency.
needs in order to attack. Yeah. And at the moment, there is a way for players to earn silver. So again, in every capital, there are NPCs that you can do jobs for, and they will pay you silver. But the amount of silver that you're going to make is really modest. Like you're going to make 1 silver after completing the quest. So you're not going to be making a lot of silver. So you're not going to be making the kind of silver that you can attack a faction with. It's just going to be maybe 3 silver a day you can make, and that's it.
Yeah, I think
but
if
then
you're
there are items in the world as well which are a lot rarer. So if you want to pay for some food, or for maybe someone's going to make you a sword or something, you can pay using supplies if the blacksmith is willing to accept that, or maybe other supplies which are harder to find, have like a low drop chance.
Wonderful, thank you very much. And there was, of course, question by the one and only Greek. Another question from Coyote88. Is there going to be starting gear, for example, sword, shield, armor, or are we starting naked?
Yeah.
There is starting gear. I'm basically in it right now. You get a default crafted light armor set, and then a villager weapon of your choice. I chose the pan because I love this thing. But there's a bunch of other ones, and then you can quite easily get enough supplies on day 1 to get like a choice weapon. that is
Yeah,
something that
it's
will
down to you
probably
as to
last
what you
me.
want to do, because like we said, the supplies are in limited amount, so it's not like you can craft 100 swords and decide which is the best one. You're very much down to your luck or the roll.
Wonderful, wonderful. Do we have set starting locations for each faction, or is it random?
Yes, set starting location, so every player will start in their capital.
Wonderful. Are
Yeah,
players...
it's a starter area before you go there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, you go to the starter area, you'll pick who you're going to join, and you'll pick your profession, and then it will teleport you to your starting area.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, thank you. Are players allowed to switch sides or factions if it's done in RP, much like Ragnar becoming a Christian?
Yep.
What can players do if
Simple
they
answer.
get in a position, where they no longer feel all that Norseman and would like to go Wessex, or Mercia, someone from Mercia would like to switch to Wessex?
I imagine if you're Norse going to somewhere like Wessex, you're going to have to be baptized, but essentially you're going to have to swear fealty to your leader, because it's you can't kind of swap and change as you please and as you wish. Like there's got to be decent RP, and then you're going to have to swear fealty to your new leader.
Yeah, I think if it's something like you've proven yourself enough to join us, then there should be no reason why you will want to join someone else after that. Unless RP drives it, of course. However, if you're doing something like that, or you're getting baptized and you're joining Wessex or whatever, there are consequences, because you could be trying to do that as a spy or a traitor of sorts. And I'll tell you right now, I am not going to hesitate to hang someone in the name of God. So just kind of make sure that you understand that you do have this avenue RP that you could follow, but it will have consequences if you're trying to be sneaky.
Yeah, I think this is an important concept to bring up. This is not the best season for you to get randomly pissy with your faction leader or with anyone in a position of power. It will not end well. You might be used to making funny comments to people in charge who have power, where no consequences will come your way, but this is not the kind of server where I would recommend doing it. The faction leaders will be more than encouraged to exercise their power, and you, as people beneath them, will be very much encouraged to stay in line. Otherwise, you will have to learn the consequences, that those actions will bring up to you and your family and everyone you love, because such things happen in times of war, in times of I would say uneven positions in society, and it's called Dark Ages for a reason. And don't test your luck, because I can tell you're M9. He will hang you. He will literally hang you, and your character will forfeit his or her life. And
and I think we might all have different ways of dealing with this as leaders, but you understand that if you get caught in that type of position, there's no 3 knockdown rule. If you're caught and you're a prisoner and you're executed, you're executed. That's just the way that my kingdom is going to roll with it. Not that it's going to happen, right? But there's no 3 knockdown rule if you're executed.
Indeed,
I
indeed.
just want to add, because I don't want this to be like super discouraging. I would love to see
me
people
too.
doing this kind of RP. So think about the fact that there could be an attempt at rescue. There could be, a lot of different factors. There could be, if you're taken by a Jarl, you might be able to say, okay, well, I'll be, your slave in exchange for my life.
Mhm.
There are ways around it. It's not like, yes, it will be a guaranteed perma if that's what the leader decides, but you can also try and RP and escape, or, not saying escape consequences out of character, saying this is not don't be discouraged from trying it, because it's not a like you will be caught and perma'd.
Right.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like every
think
season when we
it's,
sentence someone to death, it always takes like 48 hours to give all the sides a chance for any kind of rescue. We might be talking a big game, but at the end of the day, we don't actually want to perma you. But if you leave us no other choice, we will not hesitate.
Also, guys, if enough of you don't like the leadership, Peasant militias are great things.
Oh god, here
Just
we go.
putting it out there.
All right.
Just saying. Just like, if enough of you don't like the leaders, there's more of you. Okay. Anyway.
So yeah, plenty of opportunities. It's not just power gaming from our end. We actually want to maintain the integrity of this world that is called history, at least some degree of familiarity, with the history. And back in the day, things could be considered unfair and things happen. So yeah, don't be a prick to your leaders because they should be honored. Whether you like it or not, they should at least be feared. All right, and to answer mechanically, of course, whenever you want to switch sides, just file us a ticket and we will, handle the back end.
Indeed.
Wonderful. From Mr. Scrap, is nobility off limits or those within any form of position of power? Of position of power. Hopefully I read it right. Or are they like the rest of us plebeians and can be sent to Brazil? Is nobility off limits, or those within any form of position of power, or are they like the rest of us plebeians and can be sent to
Kinda
Brazil?
covered that.
He means
If you want to
like
off
can't be
overthrow
attacked.
people, that
Yeah.
means they're not going to
Oh,
step
right,
in
right.
to
Gotcha,
prevent
gotcha.
you from doing it with
I
rules.
understand now. Yes. Everyone is mortal. Everyone can be killed. Everyone can be stabbed. No matter if it's me, Shay, M9, or Light, or any kind of player in position of power or no power. Everyone can be stabbed. Will there be PvP this season?
No.
That
No,
depends
there's
entirely on our player
it's actually
base.
a musical.
It depends on the RP.
It's actually a musical. I'm sorry. We don't have actually any PvP. You have to do a piece of Hamlet to do any damage.
Wonderful. That settles
M9
it.
has been training for this.
Yes, there'll be fucking PvP. There'll be death.
And Huzzah Mercia, according to Mr. Squirrelington.
That's musical. He said musical.
From Twiggy.
John can't read today.
Yes. When it comes to the Viking faction, are they working as three separate clans to spice up a situation, such as one clan supporting Wessex while the other fights alongside Mercia?
Players, right?
That's up to them.
Yeah,
Right.
we pretty much answered it, right? Like, we are a melting pot of various cultures and approaches, but there is also a certain degree of honor that kind of binds us. There is an oath that was most likely shared, with our leader that is currently not among us. And in order for us to kind of betray this oath and to perhaps swear another one, we would have to be very much convinced. But it is indeed possible, and it happens every season. There is always someone who will betray their faction. There is always someone who can be persuaded to do various things. Someone can be hired as, for example, a support when it comes to certain activities involving PvP. You never know. If you pay them well, the Vikings could very much be considered mercenaries.
Yeah, the small little addition to that is that they, because it kind of adds to it, any leadership. So the ones that they sworn their oath to are out of reach. You cannot contact them. You could try, but it won't reveal anything because the trip is too long, and anyone else in England is just too far or out of reach of dealing with other shit. So they're on their own technically, but they did swear an oath. Just depends how long the oath fucking lasts.
Yeah, we could even say that the Jarls swore an oath, and those who are underneath
they
the
literally
Jarls,
did, by the way.
they kind of are just there out of their loyalty and for the opportunity, So you guys, I'm not talking about myself as a Jarl, you guys are very much welcome to essentially explore your possibilities without risking, being oath breakers. It all depends on your RP. So in this regard, you have plenty of freedom. From Sutaballs, some Norse guy. How will the resource gathering from mines and farms work? Will there be convoys like once a week which can potentially be ambushed so that the other side can steal some of the resources?
I kind of like that as an event idea. I might steal that, but it's not in play at the moment. Like the whole convoy thing could be a cool event.
Yeah, it's not a mechanic, but RP is RP. If people want to do that, there might be rewards or events that we.
Yeah, currently it's just RP. If you have like a convoy of people and they're traveling from A to B and they have resources in them, you can totally RP that out.
Yeah, you never
but we
really
might have an
know
event,
if
'cause that
there's
sounds
like
cool, actually.
if there's like a truce or something between two people and they're exchanging resources. Who's to say that that exchange can't be attacked? You know, like that's just an RP thing.
Yeah, and
Just. Oh, sorry.
okay, just real quick. Some resources will be rarer than others, and some of them will be less, I would say, placed on the map, and some you might even find will be in one place on the map. And if you decide to venture there, it might benefit you to organize auto group to go get them, because you never know if, for example, the other side that you may not be friendly with will attempt to do the same at the same time.
You stole my point.
Sorry.
I was gonna say that there are zones with like resources that everyone wants. You can set up an ambush if you really wanted to. Anyway.
Wonderful. From Styrbjorn Stormblessed. What happens if you fall asleep for a few days and wake up in a territory thus controlled by a new faction? This is something, we have
that we
discussed
spoke
before.
about. Yeah, we spoke about this
Great
before.
question.
That's one of the reasons that we added the 24-hour cooldown. So it does give people a day. But one of the things that we have suggested that people do when they start is to go to their capital and use the set home mechanic at their capital. So that if you wake up and suddenly realize that, oh crap, I am
Haven't we
in the
discussed
middle
that?
of someone else's home.
Haven't we discussed that we will have warps already pre-placed in all the
Let's check
capitals?
now.
Yes.
And players
Is
will
that what we're gonna do?
essentially, yeah,
Yes.
essentially there will be 3 warps, and depending on your tag, whether you are from Mercia, Wessex, or of course the Northmen, you will have the ability to essentially do slash, the capital. And in case you went to sleep in your home and all of a sudden you had to like take a few days off and you wake up and the territory is no longer yours, you have 2 options. You can either RP it out, that you got captured or that you are still there, you just kind of woke up and was found, or you can claim that you escaped just in time and you will appear by using the slash, your faction home, and you will appear in your faction capital, and you can claim that, your house was taken and it is now the responsibility of your leadership to help you reclaim it, if they are actually doing their job that they're supposed to, to protect their peasants, to protect their militia, and to protect the homes of the people that put their faith in them.
Yeah, we're really putting a lot of faith on people to not abuse this. It's kind of an honor system, but yeah, just use it in the case that you do find yourself in this position.
At the same time, we understand the awkwardness that this could bring, whenever not all of us can be in the game every single day. And even though there is 24-hour cooldown, someone could need a week when it comes to, a break. And we very much welcome anyone who missed out on certain parts to not be forced to reroll or to awkwardly file a ticket and us teleporting them, from somewhere that is now closed or locked or anything like that. So yeah, this will give you plenty of options to essentially sort it out yourself. From Donna Marie. From the current map, it looks like the Vikings have to attack Mercia first and have no way to directly attack Wessex. Is this the way it is intended?
That's actually a perfect.
No.
If you're watching my stream, I'm currently stood next to a boat which will take you to Mercia. Or to Wessex, sorry.
Wessex.
We are watching now?
Yeah, so the map needs to be slightly updated. But you can attack, let me see what node it is. It's the landing. It's called the landing. So node 17, you can also go from Sigathorpe to node 17 in Wessex. And you can try and attack there if you wanted to go into Wessex rather than into Mercia. So you've got the choice. You've got 2 nodes you can go into Mercia, or you can go down to a single node in Wessex and try your luck down there.
Very cool.
So yeah, where Giddy now is, that's going to be the landing. So you can try going there instead.
So to answer, no one is safe, essentially.
No, you can go. So every faction can attack every other faction in any direction. It's fine.
Wonderful. Thank you for showcasing it, Giddy. Next question from Sam Anonymous Guy. Is Marvelfit at hotmail.co.uk Bale's PayPal? In case I really like the map and I would like to show him my appreciation and convince him to stick to map modding some more. Yes, in fact, there is a good person who asked this question, and I couldn't recommend anyone who would like to offer any kind of compliments or words of support. Money talks. And Bale, as we have already discussed at the beginning, deserves some kind of recognition. We never ask you for anything. We suggest that perhaps if you want to showcase your true appreciation, this is a very good way to do so. And I'm not going to be mad at you if you don't do this, but I'm just saying that a lot of you get to enjoy a lot of our spoils of effort, stress for very little. So in case you ever had a hole in your pocket and all that freaking money is really burning you, weighing heavily upon you, just send some of it to Bale and let him know how much you like the map, if you like it, of course. I understand that VSRPers are not exactly known to be just rolling in dough, okay? I totally get it, but Bale really put a lot of effort into this, and we only ask for money when it comes to our modders. And if you want to see more of their wonderful arts, of their wonderful work and magic, this is the only way to convince them to continue, because modding is a very thankless job. There is always people who want more, there is always people who will tell you how bad of a job you're doing, or people that will tell you how good of a job you're doing, but then they're not even playing on the server, So just consider this, and I will be eternally grateful to you, because Bale deserves this. M9 mentioned that there is an updated version of the map incoming soon. Perfect. From Cherry Pie, when it comes to the territory being taken, traded by any means, will the players get the option to be absorbed by said conquerors, remain and stay with their homes? Good question.
It's a good question. It's not something that we've spoken about, but I guess that is an option. I guess,
like a soft transition.
Norse can take the roles, right?
Could we perhaps
That's
leave
also
slaves and stuff?
Oh, sorry. Just a real question. Could we perhaps have Thespian on the map that would help facilitate this transition, or would it be potentially exploitable?
I think that's too exploitable.
Yeah, that could be exploitable.
Yeah. I don't think even if you're captured and taken, like, it's going to be something that you decide that you want to do RP wise. So someone takes you. Yeah, it can be ticket, but like even I don't think changing clans is actually going to give you any benefit or change. It's not going to change anything.
Yeah, that is true.
If you're living in the same house, you're just swearing your allegiance to a different thing.
Yeah, change your clothing color.
It's very RP-based.
You're definitely open to that type of RP.
Just as a little addition, because I know it will come up, especially in this season, when it comes to territories being captured or your character even being captured, all of it does rely on both parties agreeing to the to being captured. Like, you should give the option if they don't want to, because some people are not willing to participate in that kind of RP when it comes to slavery, when it comes to being kidnapped. Give them the option to flee, to leave, if they don't want it. It could be as simple as doing in brackets, I don't want this, or whatever way you want to communicate, like an OOC way, that's fine. But that's kind of RP that not everyone likes, but it will probably be a potential in this season. So kidnapping, trolling, slavery, possible, but only if both parties agree.
Yeah, things like torture as well. Like there's
that is as well. It's that's a very both parties need to agree to torture. That is just a very limited thing. I don't honestly. If there's a choice, torture probably won't be a thing. But if both parties agree, then that's fine. They both want it, so then that's okay. Obviously, no ERP, but I thought that would be obvious. But I'll say that anyway.
Wonderful, thank you. Next question from Tinsley. Stealing horses. As a Viking, how do we go about stealing any that are left about? Kill it and open a ticket, or just open a ticket and drop a POI? I think the ticket sounds reasonable, right? That will probably be the easiest. They will kill the horse and there's a screenshot in a ticket, and we will then spawn it to them, like in their pockets.
Yeah, I think it would be quite a rare occurrence. At least for the beginning half of the season. For
Horses
sure.
are not
It's
readily
probably going to be more
available.
expensive to buy a horse than it is to attack a territory.
Right.
Horses are not readily available.
Yeah.
So you won't find many of them. But if you do, you might.
It's sort of the equivalent of having a supercar in modern day. Like, people just walk everywhere.
And I would say enjoy this, because last season we had plenty of horses and there was also plenty of complaints about it. It's very difficult to balance PvP and mounted combat. It's very difficult to balance people's salt on the receiving end of the horse attacks, and then, to balance people's enjoyment who want to utilize horses and abuse their powers against their unfortunate enemies. So the fact that we will not have them is actually a feature that you should be grateful for, because if you were here last season, you will hopefully understand that it is not really worth our, I would say, stress to sort out those issues. Sanity, yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no modded horses.
I also think the map size is lending itself really well to not have them. You've seen me, like, if you've been watching, I've been walking around the map. I think I've done, like, 3 loops or something of at least a bunch of the different territories. I did fly a little bit, but like it's very walkable. I'd be surprised if you take more than a few minutes to get places.
It's more spread out than last season, but it is it's not going to take you ages to get from one end to the other.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and there's also like nice paths through the terrain. You don't have to. Not going to go through the narrowest, path up between 2 mountains.
What day does the territory share unlock? Sunday or Monday?
Monday.
Monday.
Also, I assume you meant territory claim system, not sharing. Which
well, sharing is caring.
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's going to be by blood. No, I'm kidding. Friday, Saturday, Sunday are the.
We'll turn it on Monday.
Turn it on Monday. The other days.
But even then, you gotta, in terms of like territory stuff as well. Like you're gonna have to make enough money to go out and attack anywhere. It's not gonna happen just after one day.
You might need to rally your entire faction to get their daily silver to attempt to get you halfway there.
Wonderful. And very last question from Tinsley. Is there a difference between regular and advanced blacksmithing? Or do we get both by being a blacksmith? Belle, this is probably a question for you because you kind of put together the starter area. Have you decided whether you want to give players the advanced one from the very beginning, or will that be something that they will have to earn?
Yeah, so with the way we've worked it is everybody can do some level of cooking and blacksmithing. So you have your basic blacksmith and your basic cooking, and everybody will get that regardless of what they choose. If you choose to be a blacksmith, you get given the advanced blacksmithing. If you choose to be a cook, then you get given the advanced cooking and the healing.
Are you sure? Because that's completely new to me.
No, that's how it's done.
Okay, so there are 3 tiers of blacksmithing. The villager one, and then the factional one, and then the advanced factional one. And cooking is only
if it's
one.
something that we need to, if it's something that we need to revisit, obviously this has been put together in the last couple of days. So if we need to revisit this, then we can do. But at the moment, if you choose to be a blacksmith, then you unlock all blacksmiths.
Gotcha.
If you choose to be a cook, then you unlock all the cook stuff.
Yeah. My concern was if you choose to be a cook, you shouldn't have any access to any kind of blacksmithing. That's the only
just
thing.
the standard, the lowest level blacksmith stuff.
Not even that. That was something that I also wanted to.
All right, it's something we can revisit then.
Okay. Yeah, because I prepared this little thingy in here. where essentially all the feats that you should have, there are essentially 2 talents, cooking and blacksmithing. If you want to cook, you pick cooking, that also involves healing, and if you want to blacksmith, you pick blacksmithing. That's pretty much it, you know. Only those who want to throw meat on the campfire will essentially be able to cook regardless of their talent when it comes to cooking or not. But yeah, that's kind of how I organize things in the mod itself. And of course, this could still be subject to change, but this is definitely something that I that I considered. But yeah, we'll discuss with Bale and we will let you guys know. All right, and I believe this is everything that we were supposed to answer. There is one thing that kind of came to my mind when we were discussing these things, and I would just like to bring it up real quick. It's a bit of an unpleasant thing, so bear with me, but it is something that kind of happens to us every season. Right before the launch, there are at least 2 or 3 other servers launching right after us. It is completely normal, it is completely common. We are a very small community with lots of servers, and it will happen regardless whenever we launch or how long we will postpone. It's very hard for us to postpone because working on these mods takes a lot of time, and a single update from Funcom could essentially set us back months, you know, if they rework like a core mechanic. So this is not really in our hands, and we very much apologize if we will launch like directly when you also expect to be participating, you know, in other servers. So that's kind of out of our hands, unfortunately. But why am I bringing this up? At some point, our pop will drop, and some of you guys will transfer elsewhere. Again, completely normal, completely natural. We thank you very much for even considering playing on our server. But I have one favor to ask. Please don't be a dick about it, because I would like to ask you to conclude your stories, and gracefully, if possible, because those that will be sticking around kind of deserve to say goodbyes and move on. Of course, you don't owe us anything, but you kind of owe to your character and to your RP colleagues to conclude your stories. Don't be a dick about it. Don't start any scandalous in-character beefs, only to then leave like a day after without any of this shit unresolved. It happens to us so many times, and we so do not want to deal with this. As admins, as players, it's just unpleasant to everyone involved, and it kind of paints you as an RPer in a bad light too. You can think whatever you want to think about us and how we are running things, but this is just unpleasant for so many people involved, and it's completely avoidable and unnecessary. So please, if it's possible, just like whenever you clean up after yourself, whenever you leave the server, or at least you should, you know, you clean up your shit, you clean up your base, and then just kind of say goodbye, and that's it. You know, we might see you next season, or we may not, but please don't leave behind your dirty laundry, your dramas, your whatever, however we scorned you. Just think of all the RPers that will be sticking around that would have to resolve those unresolved storylines and give them a chance to continue the season in peace. You know, screw whatever us things, screw whatever us will be dealing with, but just think of all the other RPers that will be still sticking around. You might want to RP with them one day, and they might see you as a dick, you know, who was just kind of a prick during this season. So do this to yourself. Don't do this just for us. But please, I may not be speaking to well, yeah, this is mainly just my concern, so please don't paint the other admins wanting this too, but this is something close to my heart. As an RPer and as an admin, just please be a pleasant, decent human being when it comes to concluding your stories, and yeah, don't start any beefs if you know that you only have one last day on the server. Thank you. Anything else that you would like to bring up, guys, or discuss? I would like to give you last opportunity for the spotlight. I think we have discussed everything that we wanted to discuss. We have no further questions, so the floor is yours. And if not,
the only thing that would like to add is that as every season always goes, this is an experimental season. Shit will break. We have the best intentions to make things work flawlessly. Things will break. have patience, open up a ticket, or pretty much open a ticket. That's the only way to do it. And let us know. We'll try to fix it as best as we can. Hopefully nothing will break, but it probably will. That's about it.
Yeah, and please understand that there are a lot more of us on the EU side than there is on the NA side. So be patient when, asking for things in tickets and things like that.
Wonderful. Anything else?
Guys, have fun. It's gonna be a great season, okay?
Yeah, have fun.
Yeah.
RP your
gonna
little
be-
hearts out.
Let's try
There's
to
so
enjoy
much
this.
opportunity. I'm really excited. I hope other people are. It's nice to have like a grounded season, so I'm ready. Woo! I know, sorry, I needed a hype moment.
Woo!
I just want to add to, I made an announcement earlier, but if we have anybody on the north side who's curious about how my character can help your character, whether you're playing a berserker, a seer, or somebody who feels called to be a seer, or just anything else, and you want some additional mystical flavor, you are welcome to open the ticket. I can explain some of what, out of character I will be doing and mechanically what I am capable of doing. But this is the one season where I will say, if we have established that we need to work together in character for something, I will be happy to receive a DM from you if you're online and I'm not online and you're like panicked, you need your berserker RP or whatever. Normally I say please don't DM me as a staff member, but this is different. I'm here to help facilitate you guys having fun, and if at all possible, I would very much like to be around to help you guys. So you can DM me specifically if you're online. Just think of it as like a ping, and if I can be on, I will be on. If not, I'll tell you when I will be on.
I would perhaps also like to bring up the very last thing, and that's the faction chats. We have created them for a reason. We, of course, are very much aware that you guys have your private discords where you organize stuff, where you discuss stuff, where you share feedback about the admins that you hate stuff, and that's kind of why we're not there, or at least most of us, for our own sanity. We wish you nothing but the best. We hope that you will enjoy them. You can speak there in peace, and we will not dare to venture there. It is your place, and this one that we have created is like our own shared opportunity to kind of unite things, to coordinate stuff, and because not everyone can be present in those additional faction chats. So please try to use the one that we have and try to coordinate stuff, no matter if it's in character or OC. We all play in different time zones. This is a very handy tool that we've been using since season 1, so don't hesitate to use it. It's here for you. You can use it for whatever you like, and you will not be persecuted over there, even if we have access to it. If there is only one thing that I would like to discourage, that's using voice chats in those private discords whenever it's like a tense situation or PvP is involved. I know, well, we all know that people do it. We all know that it's very popular for a reason. You coordinate stuff, you tell yourself that, that person is low, you're gonna target them, or you need, someone to kind of help you while you're healing. This is not esports. We're still RPers, even when we PvP, so please try your best to refuse the temptation of this advantage that it provides, and try to give your RPers enough respect to face them head on, to use the VoIP that everyone can hear, or to just kind of rely on your instincts and on your chemistry that you have developed with your partner, teammate, or the rest of your tribe. Train together, practice fights, practice callouts. That's the fun of RP. There are many things that PvP can offer when it comes to RP, so this is one of those. Try to use them. Don't ruin it to yourself and to others by using the voice chat in those private discords. Everyone knows when it happens. We can all see it. We're not stupid when you're all quiet and you're kind of just perfectly coordinated. We're not gonna ban you for it, of course not. We cannot really provide it, and we're not here to witch hunt, but we all know. So please try your best to show each other courtesy and try not to do it as much.
It's also worth noting as well that we're not having a PvP feedback section this season. So if you have an issue with a weapon, then just don't use it. Like, we're not going to be changing things during the season.
Yup.
Side note,
Pretty
if
much.
it's broken, yes, please let us know. If it's glitched or broken, that's different. But if you don't like it, how do I say this? Go fuck yourself.
Oh god.
Yeah,
no
like a
PvP
balance
for-
complaint is probably not going to be looked at.
There's no
Yeah,
PvP
and then
for.
there's nothing
no
that generates more salt than people moaning about PvP. Like we've had the PvP
Agreed.
server open now for such a long time, and everyone's had an opportunity to go on there and put their thoughts forward. And if you haven't done it by now, then I'm sorry, but it's too late. We're not changing anything during the season.
Thank you for that. This will bring me a lot of joy because I spent last season, and that was my own fault, just too long when it comes to trying to make everyone happy. And at the end of the day, I achieved the exact opposite. I made basically everyone unhappy. And that's the bane of PvP Balancer's existence. You cannot side with everyone. And ultimately, especially when multiple factions are involved, there'll be camps, there'll be tribes, and everyone will be campaigning to essentially boost themselves. It's very hard to see things from the perspective of others, especially those that we were on the receiving end of the injustice. And it is what it is. I would like to thank M9. Sorry, M9. Fuck M9. He did.
Wow, that's my cue.
I would like to
Damn.
thank Twiggy and Nephilim, who have been there every single day with me for months. What it feels like, it was probably like a month and some weeks, but maybe even like more than 2 months. We have been going over the weapons. We've been practicing every single matchup, every single outcome, but there are so many counters, there are so many weapons, there are so many possibilities that it's unfortunately impossible to make everything perfectly balanced. And inherent asymmetry is very much a thing that will always be present on our servers. But this season, more than any other seasons, I have tried to sprinkle in all the most favorite weapon archetypes to all the factions, so that you cannot really claim that, this side has only this weapon and therefore they are much better because of it. 95% of all weapons will be present in basically all factions. So you can craft it, you can use it. If you find one sword to be stronger than others, just use it. And once the season ends, I can look into it. But don't DM me about this weapon being too strong. Don't complain to other admins that, John is shit at this and that, he needs to really change this or else he will stop playing. Just stop playing. They would honestly be more preferable, and I know that this will not buy me any vote of confidence or any favors, but we want to RP too, and we've done enough. We have put a lot of work into this. You have weapons that cost a lot of money when it comes to the skins, a lot of effort, and they have been tested by numerous people, not just by Twiggy and Nephilim, but by Turbo, but by just think of the guy in that group of PvPers that you hate, and they probably tried it, either on their own private servers or on our test server. Just everyone already has their favorite build, everyone already shared DMs about what they're gonna do. If you're not unsure, if you feel like you're lacking, ask around. On the server, there are many freaking PvPers who will be salivating at the thought of converting you to their favorite build or their favorite playstyle. And this season, we also have the freaking heavy bodied armor that literally gives you stun and stagger immunity. It will also kind of give you some downsides because otherwise it will be too strong, but if there is one thing that you absolutely hate about the Conan PvP system as a non-Conan PvPer, it's probably that. So try it. You might really enjoy it. It means that even the weakest PvPer will actually be able to make a difference in a fight. And if there is someone who is literally untouchable, well, you at least will be able to touch them. So use this, try out all the various builds, all the various armors, try the crafting system. Who knows, you might like it, you might enjoy yourself, and be patient. And you might want to come across as a strong, powerful knight, but that takes time. Your skill takes time, and that's a good thing. We have a lot of people who have been PvPing for years, and clearly they will have some sort of inherent advantage, but you can still learn a lot throughout the season. So use that time wisely and enjoy.
think that might be a good note to end on, to be fair.
Wonderful. All right. In that case, some closing words. On behalf of the Nerdhaven staff team, I would like to thank you guys for showing up here during this meeting, for hyping things up throughout the months that led up to the season. I know we took a lot of time. I know we were supposed to launch in January or even before. I know it sucks. I know these seasons take so freaking long and you guys have been patiently waiting, and I hope that we will be able to deliver at least something that will occupy your time for a few hours a day, that you will find enjoyable or inspiring, to just share that scene with others, to RP. These are divisive times, in this world that we are experiencing, and there is one thing that we all share, and that's the passion for RP. So let's try to focus on that. Even though this might be a PvP heavy season, we can still show each other courtesy. We can still show each other enough respect to both have fun and to also allow others to have fun. So let's try that. And yeah, the season is yours. Use it however you see fit. And we can't wait to freaking RP with you very, very soon. Bye. Did my internet drop out?
Whoa!
No, still up.
Whoa!
Okay, thank you.
Nerdhaven Season 5! We got this!
Season
Does
5.
that help?
Season 5.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Have a
Yes,
good one.
thank you. Adios.
Bye-bye.
See you tomorrow for Death Incarnate.
Alright, guys, this is it. This is the end of the Season 4, whatever I called it, pre-launch community meeting. Thank you for bearing with me. Thank you for dealing with my stupid voice and with the Discord beeps and all sorts of stuff. Thank you for, of course, asking your questions. I know that I ignored the chat. I apologize. I've been doing way too many things. It's probably too late for me to go over it all. So in case there is anything I haven't really answered or anything you're curious about and you didn't really want to throw it into the meeting chat, my DMs are of course open. I know we try to discourage you from DMing admins and staffers, but at the end of the day, we're just players like yourself. So in case there is anything that you really want to know, let me know. If it's a short answer, I will answer. If it's a long one, I will ask you to file a ticket so that other staffers can also see it. That's kind of how we do things, because it's just fair for everyone involved. And even now, we still need to kind of confirm things amongst each other, and we need to make sure that we are all on board with certain things. So, yep, that's basically it. So, thank you guys so much. I will now end this and go to bed because it is 0:00 on my clock right now, so I should probably go to bed. So, yes. Thank you again for everything. I hope that you enjoyed. Let me go and see if I can perhaps raid someone in Conan. Let's see if we could share the love. Send you guys somewhere nice. Do we have anyone doing any kind of RP? That would be nice. Ooh, Swordstorm Saga. Hi, Fantasy Server. Come and hang out. No advertising. That sounds wonderful. I think that's as close to RP as we will get. And there's not even may contain sexual themes. So yeah. Let us go say hi to the Warlord 1616. Alright guys, have a good one.